we are officially 4 weeks away from BL4. Fun coincidence, because, 4 weeks, BL4. Anyway, like I said, we are 4 weeks away from BL4. As you know, it releases on September 12th, and I'll be sharing my expectations, and you guys can answer the questions that I'll be asking in the video. So first of all, I'll be starting as Rafa, because I've always had a tradition to start the BL games with class names that end with ER. So like BL1, I started with Brick, who's the Berserker, ER, Berserker. BL2 I started with Sal, so Gunzerker. In the pre-sequel I started with Wilhelm, the Enforcer. BL3 I started with Flag, aka the Beastmaster, and even Wonderlands, which isn't Borderlands, I started with Berserker and Clawbringer, even though the Clawbringer and Berserker aren't really a good combination. I still decided to go with that. I could also do, Stylomancer, but like, and I guess and Rafa in BL4 is the Exo Soldier, so that also ends with an ER. But moving on to the next thing, I have pretty high expectations for the game, except for the fact that hardware requirements are probably absolute hell, and might also have a memory leak like BL3 if you were to have the game open for more than like 6 hours without restarting or anything like that or so. But at least from what I heard, loading screens will be pretty fast for traveling between maps. I'm also hoping for as little level cap increase as possible because I don't want too many skill points, BL2 reference. I'm also looking forward to how fast will the save editor be made for BL4 to avoid spending way too many hours on actually farming gear. I'm also very curious about how fast we as a theory crafting community can reach the actual damage cap like we did in BL3 with NAND damage, and also how strong will the builds be and if non-guns will be stronger than guns in a gun game, lol. But anyway, time for some questions for you. For the first question, who will you be starting as in you? Fuck, I read that wrong. Who will you be starting as in your BL4 adventure? There'll probably be many Vex sims around here. After I complete Rafa, I'll do Vex next. But the second question, how do you feel about legendary drops being toned down? I personally think that for the story playthrough, they can be toned down, but not to the exact same rate that BL2 has. But after you beat the story, they should be dropping more so that you can happen to get a wall drop that might be good for your upcoming build, or you think is just really fun. For the third question, how do you feel about the hardware requirements? I personally can't say much as I'm not very knowledgeable in that kind of stuff yet, but from what I've heard, it's gonna be pretty bad. For the fourth question, our second to last one, what would be your preferred level cap? As we know, BL games' first level cap is mostly 50, and pretty much all of the BL games, the first level cap was 50. And then Gearbox increases it in some way, either by DLC like BL1, BL2 the pre-sequel, or by free updates like BL3. I say that around 60 to 65, maybe even 70 would be the ideal level cap. It would be the ideal level cap of the game. Final question, would you like to see any gun returning? Would you like to see any gun from previous BL games to come back? Now, I've never really been a fan of returning guns, but if I had to choose one, it would be the Insider. Even though it's not gonna happen because people still use the Trevenator in 2025, it'd be funny if it did come back. Man, I wrote a script for this video and I still couldn't like quite read it properly. Anyway, so this was the video. We got 4 weeks before BL4. Can't wait for the release even though summer break will be over by then. But it's fine, there'll be some juicy content coming out on the channel. So, see you tomorrow with a BL3 video. Bye bye.